It's mailbag time here on Seattle Seahawks Today. Tyler Jones here with you. Appreciate you joining us. We answer your questions in real time on our live Wednesday show where you guys ask us about everything on your Seattle Seahawks under the sun. As we take your questions with super chats and hashtag Seahawks, it's pretty interactive. If you've never been a part of it, you need to join us for our next live show. So here's what you need to do. Join the Noti Gang. That way you're the first to know when we go live on the channel and do our live shows where you can get your questions answered in real time and hang out with us and be the first to know when we have new content here on the channel. Join the Noti Gang. Hit the bell icon and turn on notifications so you can be with all your Seahawk buddies, all your 12 friends here on Seahawks Today. Join the Noti Gang. We can start with today's show. Kaysen with a $50 super chat. Bang! And a first-time super chatter as well says, if I'm GM, restructure Geno and Lockett, ditch Adams, Disley, and Diggs, pursue Josh Allen. He's referring to the defensive player, not the quarterback, or a big name. If we clear up money, who would you like to get? First off, Kaysen, thanks for the $50 super chat. Boom. That was electric. Great way to start the show. Secondly, Kaysen knows ball. There's not an idea he threw out there that's a bad idea at all. The restructure on Lockett, he's got to take a pay cut. Seahawks can't be paying him $16 million. Adams has got to go. Disley's got to go. Diggs, hate to say it, but he's got to go. Josh Allen would be a hell of a football player. If we clear up money, who would you like to get? The pipe dream is a guy like Chris Jones. That's the ultimate dream. But there's some others that come to mind. You think of those former Ravens players like Patrick Queen or Justin Madubuike potentially. We talked about Jeremy Chin on the channel earlier this week. Geno Stone. There's a number of guys to choose from, Kaysen. I think the Seahawks have a chance to be aggressive once they clear money their way. And then another first-time super chat. Joshua with a $10 super chat writes in. Do you think the Seahawks could draft Brock Bowers this year? So we've seen the Seahawks over the years under John Schneider take this philosophy of best man available when it comes to the draft. And if Brock falls their way, if he is somehow still available at 16, you have to take him. And I know what some of you are thinking. Well, Noah Fant's a good tight end. Disley and Parkinson, they're good. But Brock is great. Brock is the best tight end prospect that we've seen in a generation, folks. He is that good. And I sure hope this new Seahawks offense, with Ryan Grubb as offensive coordinator, gets the tight end position more involved. That was one of my biggest complaints with the Waldron Carroll era of Seahawks football, was the lack thereof at the tight end position. Bowers is a game changer and helps out any quarterback. I would love to have him. If he's still there at 16, I'd be tempted to even trade up potentially for him. Gino Truther writes, can we get a do-over on DreMont Jones and trade him? It wasn't a good year for DreMont Jones, if we're going to be frank. It was very disappointing for all the money that he was paid and all the excitement that he brought to the table. It just simply didn't work out as hoped. Part of it has to do with coaching. I blame Pete Carroll and Clint Hurt a lot for the lack thereof of DreMont Jones and not getting the most out of him. But you think about it, that might be who DreMont Jones really is. We don't know. If you're the Seahawks, this is something you have to consider. Are you better off cutting your losses on DreMont Jones now, trading him and try to get something out of him? Or do you pay him all that money again for another disappointing season like you did last year? I lean towards keeping him, running it back one more time, but I could understand why you may want to move on from DreMont Jones. Should the Seahawks trade DreMont Jones? It's our pinned comment today. Weigh in, tell us what you think. T for trade, K for keep. Weigh in the comment section, let us know. Folks, got a great deal we're offering. Seahawks hats, not just 50% off on some of these hats, but also free shipping is available on several Seahawks hats as well at jetsports.com/Seahawks hats. Here's some of the hats that we have to offer, but there's plenty more as well that you can see for yourself at jetsports.com/Seahawks hats. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Don't miss out on the opportunity to get one for yourself and see what we're offering. 50% off on several hats, free shipping available potentially as well. Chatsports.com/Seahawks hats. Link is in the comments and description of today's video. Kenny writes in, what about Geno and a third-round pick to take Fields? Come on, Tyler. Smitty, let's go. Shout out Smitty. Fields. I like Justin Fields. I don't know if the Bears want Geno necessarily, but a third-round pick is the ceiling for me of trading for Justin Fields. I'm not giving up a first. I'm not giving up a second. The line of demarcation for me is a third-round pick. I can live with giving up a third-round pick for Fields, reset the QB clock, see if he's got something to the table, and add a whole nother element to this offense, potentially. That's something I could be interested in. Donald writes in, should they draft a quarterback, Turner or Murphy, in the first round? I think the Seahawks should draft a quarterback, but also depends on how the board falls to them. I've always liked the Belichick philosophy of getting a quarterback in every draft, seeing what they potentially could develop, even if it means late in the draft, and potentially seeing if they can be a backup or turn into your quarterback down the road or something like that. To me, that's an intriguing idea, potentially. Maybe the guy you want isn't available in the first, but don't rule out later. As far as Dallas Turner or Byron Murphy goes, I like Dallas Turner more than I do Byron Murphy. Both are terrific football players, but Dallas Turner, for me, he's the best edge rusher in this draft. He's got a lot of potential, a lot of talent that he brings to the table and would bring a whole nother element to this Seahawks pass rush that's been missing. I'd like to see Dallas Turner. Byron Murphy, wouldn't complain about either, but I'd like Turner a little bit more. Alan says, do you think we'll cut D. Eskridge? I would think. But at the end of the day, it's not that big of a deal as you would think, actually, guys. Because he doesn't command a lot of money. And although he, has been such a failure and a disappointment, it doesn't cost you a lot. He kind of just hangs out. He kind of just sits there, right? Wanders off in space and does his own thing. I think they'll cut him, and they should cut him. But honestly, I'm not losing sleep at night over D. Eskridge. I always forget that he's still on this team. So for me, I would cut him, but I'm not going to be pissed if they keep him. Stevie B. What will be the Seahawks wide receiver group 1 through 4? I think it's what you saw last year. I think we see DK, Lockett, JSN, and Jake Bobo, 1 through 4. And as far as Tyler Lockett goes, my guess is that Lockett restructures, takes a pay cut, takes a team-friendly deal, and that's how he sticks around. Because no one else is paying him $16 million, okay? Some of you may be saying, we can't lose Tyler Lockett, can't let him go somewhere else. Who else is paying him $16 million? I don't see anybody doing that. I think he stays for less money and finishes his career with the Seattle Seahawks team. The Smitty Committee. What's your takeaways from Mike Macdonald's new coaching staff? Couple things. First off, this coaching staff is made in Mike Macdonald's image. Okay? This is the coaching staff that he wanted. He wasn't bullied around and told you have to keep this guy or do things John's way or anything like that. It is made in his image. And then, two, it's very young. I mean, you look at Ryan Grubb. This guy's a rising star in the coaching ranks. Since what he saw in college football with Washington and was with Alabama for a couple weeks. Aiden Durdee hasn't been around a long time either. Was most recently a defensive line coach in Dallas. Jay Harbaugh, the son of Jim Harbaugh, a guy that's rising up the ranks. This is a young group. But yet you still have veteran experience too. Like Leslie Frazier, I think every staff in the National Football League would love to have Leslie Frazier on it. I like it. It's a good balance of experience and also in the way that Mike Macdonald wants to do things. I think Mike Macdonald did a terrific job finding his staff. Who was the best hire on Mike Macdonald's staff? For me, it's Jay Harbaugh at special teams coordinator. I was very impressed with Jay Harbaugh personally. Liked what we saw from him with that Michigan special teams group. And he's got an NFL background too. He knows Mike Macdonald well. That was another thing, too, I didn't bring up was a lot of these guys he's very familiar with as well. And I think that's important to have people you trust as well on that front. Who was the best hire? Let us know in the comments section. Folks, appreciate you joining us here on Seahawks Today. Subscribe to the channel for the latest happenings in your favorite team. Join us next time for our live mailbag, and we will see you then.